Okay, so Mark's joined us now. Mark, great to have you on the show. Really appreciate you joining us. And yeah, taking the time to come and speak to us too. So just if you want to just introduce yourself, give us a bit of background into who you are, where you live, what you do for work, etc., and then we'll get into the main meat of talking things fitness. So yeah, over to you, mate.
Cool. Well, first, thanks for having me, guys. Absolute honor to be
no problem,
a guest
mate.
on the podcast.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's new for me,
problem.
but yeah, my name's Mark. I live in Barry, so
Barry Bados.
Barry Bados, that's the one. A little bit away from James. Me and James met when I was actually coaching in what's now CF72.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. So I like at that time I had two jobs. It was airport transfers.
Oh, really?
CrossFit.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. And then the first lockdown happened, so I kind of like lost both of them jobs.
Sucks,
so
man.
since then, it really did suck actually, because then it was like a bit of, well, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
what am I going to do? Like both your jobs is taken away from you.
Yeah.
There's a section on COVID later because I really interested to know how everyone sort of handled that because it's just a fucked up time. And okay.
I've not long recovered from COVID.
Oh shit, man! I remember you talking about this in Strength and Depth. So yeah, let's go into a bit of that then. What was that like?
Good point. Oh well, going into that, horrendous.
Man.
I've spoken to people who have had it. They've all had completely different experiences from each other and from me. But my experience of COVID was absolutely horrendous.
Were you in hospital or anything?
I got hospitalized.
Fuck me, mate.
For a day. So I was due to compete in the British Masters Championships.
Yeah.
In say a week's time. So on the Friday, I went to the cinema with a friend. Like later that night, just developed a bit of a headache. Thought nothing of it. Okay, so then on the Saturday, that was exactly 1 week until I was supposed to compete. So on the Saturday, the gym that I go to now does this thing called a skull crusher. Okay, all it is a trail.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. We've got the best names for stuff. But yeah, it's just a trail run. This trail run in particular was the head coach decided we're going to run up Penavan, have a little rest at the top, and then run down the van.
How long was the little rest? 2 days though?
No, it was a good 10, 15 minutes.
Oh,
sweets
wow.
to refuel, have a drink, and then
get back down.
It's actually really enjoyable. It's more enjoyable than it sounds. It's more enjoyable than a walk up there.
Really, is it? Never tried it. Well, maybe I'll have to do that. Skull crusher.
Give it a go. And I really don't like cardio.
No, who does? Like it sucks, doesn't it?
Exactly. So yeah, upon completing that, I felt a little bit drained, a bit more of a headache. Just put that down to kind of like being out late at the cinema, getting up early for the run. Sunday then, the gym I go to does this thing called the mash. That's what the session's called. And it's basically 3 different WODs mashed together back to back. So you do one, have a little rest, no more than 10 minutes. Do another one, no more than 10 minutes rest, do another one. In that WOD were movements that I'm comfortable with. I wouldn't say good at, I'd say comfortable with. Like, for example, in the first WOD of the 3, it was 75 chest to bar, 75 burpee box jump over. But every, you have to do it in sets of 15. And it was all of the chest to bar first and then all of the burpee box jump over.
Well, okay, yeah.
So how we worked out, it was actually quite cool. It's almost like the games, You have to do a set of 15. Once you completed that set of 15, you moved your box closer to the rig. So the box is starting off the gym. So on and so on. So you do 5 sets. The box is then right next to you on the rig or by the rig. And then you start your burpees. And then as you do 15 burpees over the box, you then move it forward.
Yeah, that's cool. I quite like that.
And then you end up finishing at the other end of the gym. It's really good. You can see where everybody else is. It's a good twist on normal training,
Yeah.
So we get to the burpee box jump overs. And they absolutely take my soul after, say, 4 or 5.
Oh, really?
But the weird thing is about it, because completely coincidentally, previously, within, I'd say, about 2 weeks of doing this WOD, we had done a class WOD with 50 burpee box jump overs in it. And I did them without stopping. Now, I didn't do them fast, but I did them without stopping.
Yeah.
But I did maybe 4 or 5 completely out of breath. And I couldn't understand it.
It's like gas, like, yeah.
Yeah, there was no gas in me whatsoever, no oxygen in me whatsoever. I was breathing so heavily, folded over, couldn't get enough air in. So anyway, we got through that WOD. The next one had, again, it was set up kind of like a race, but it was 100 hang dumbbell snatch.
Nice.
I'm usually very comfortable with them.
Mm-hmm.
I did 10 completely out of breath.
No way. Wow.
Yeah, so we the way we chopped it up was you did 20, then move forward a section. So did 10 completely out of breath. Had a little rest, went down to pick it up again, did 6. Absolutely no air in whatsoever.
You're wondering what the hell is going on at this point, you Mark?
Yeah, exactly. In my head, I'm like, I really don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, why are these hurting me so much today? Anyway, got through that WOD. And then that evening, I felt really kind of like drained. So I just put that down to pen a van run, the mash.
Yeah.
Monday then, because of COVID regulations, the competition on the weekend, you had to give a negative test result within, it was either 2 days or 4 days, I can't remember. So I thought, I'll do one Monday. If I am positive, I can wait until Friday and do another one. That was my thinking. So I did one Monday, positive. So I thought, right, okay, I'll wait till Friday, do another one if I feel okay, because I've heard that a few people have had it that I know personally. They've been just like a cold for a couple of days.
Yeah. 24 hours or 40 hours, and then they're sort of okay again.
Yeah, so I'm, fingers crossed, this is what happens to me too. By Friday, I couldn't stand.
Fucking hell.
It was a case of what it felt like. The best way I can describe this is I had what must have been about 25% of my lung capacity. That's how deep I could breathe. If I breathed deeper than that, immediate coughing fit.
Fucking hell.
So all I could do was lay down. Oh yeah, it was horrible. All I could do was lay down. If I then went to stand up to go to the toilet, obviously from laying down, when you stand up, your heart rate goes up a little bit. You need to breathe a little bit deeper. These little things you take for granted.
Yeah. It's just so you take all stuff. Climate, walking up the stairs.
You're like, yeah. So you notice these little things. So yeah, as soon as I stood up, even to just walk out of my room, literally across the hall to the toilet, coughing fit. So then I'd have to sit down on the toilet to bring my heart rate back down, knowing full well I've got to go through this again just to get back to my bed.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah. Completely lost my appetite. So I didn't eat anything for around a week to 10 days. I lost a shed load of weight. It turns out it was about a stone. And then it just kept on deteriorating. And all the while, like I'm speaking to some of my friends from the gym are actual doctors. And they're telling me, it might be this, it might be that, but they're reassuring me, it's not bad. Don't worry.
Yeah.
If it was bad, you'd be in here with us, kind of thing, in hospital. So even though I'm really ill and this really sucks, I feel reassured by them.
Yeah.
But on, I think it was about the 12th day, I phoned my GP because this is bad now. Not so much struggling to breathe, but as I said, anything that makes my heart rate go higher, just coughing fit, and I can no longer control it. So the GP then starts scaring the life out of me and is saying, people are tending not to recover for 8 months. And I'm like, I'm not dealing with this for 8 months. No chance. So he asked me certain questions like about symptoms, etc. And he said, right, I need to send you to hospital, which I really didn't want to go.
No.
Really didn't want to go. So he sent the ambulance out. The ambulance, the paramedics came out. they did a few tests. They took it's called SATs, like
SATs. Yeah.
So they did that, heart rate, blood pressure, asked some other questions, and the most assurance I've got from anyone along this journey was this paramedic. He was brilliant. He said, "We don't need to send you to hospital." I was like, "Okay, this is good news." And he was like, "You're ill. We can see that you're ill, but you're not dying."
Mm.
So even though we can see you're ill, we've just assessed you. We think you're okay, but we don't think we need to take you in. So like, I'm a bit more perky now. I'm happy about this. So they phone the GP themselves, and the GP argues with them and like, "No, I want him to go into hospital because he needs a chest X-ray."
Right. Okay.
So yeah, they then took me in. I'll just go back to the paramedic. This is what I mean. And it turned out what he was saying was actually quite held true. So he said people usually have COVID for the first, say, 3 to 4 days, they'll be fine. From 4 days up to 10, they kind of like deteriorate anywhere between 4 days and 10. Okay. Then it'll level off a bit and you'll think, okay, I'm at the precipice now and this is going to start to get better soon. And then you get worse for a little bit. And it's that little bit that gets worse after a couple of days of like stabilization. That scares people.
Yeah, because you think you're actually getting better, then bang, you're back.
And
that's crazy.
I'm not going to lie, that scared the crap out of me when I started to get worse. That's when I phoned the GP. He said, but that lasts 3 or 4 days and then you get better. You will get better. So, he really reassured me. So yeah, anyway, went to hospital. They took bloods, chest X-ray, did a PCR test, 100% COVID. But COVID caused me to have a chest infection.
Okay.
So they then give me antibiotics and it was a week's worth. And by the end of that week, absolutely fine.
What do you like? There's a lot of people out there, and I'm not trying not to get onto this massive controversial subject, but having gone through what you just have, how does it like annoy you when people are like, "Oh yeah, COVID's all the bullshit, it's all fake, it's the government trying to scare you and all this stuff"? Like having actually physically had it, like how does that make you feel? Because I know it'd make me feel, I'd be pretty damn pissed off and like,
yeah. So
it's rough, man.
Since I've had this, I've had the same conversation with what must be now almost 100 people. And they've all said the same thing to me. Were you vaccinated? And then when I say no, they all kind of blame me for going through what I've been through because I wasn't vaccinated. So those people that say what you have just said in terms of they don't believe coronavirus is a thing, you're a donut. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, it's fucking real, guys.
Yeah. I've always believed that there is a virus out there. They're not lying about a virus. I thought numbers were being exaggerated.
Okay.
I thought, yes, people are dying, but is it as many as you're saying, or are you just attaching coronavirus to certain deaths when it was actually nothing to do with coronavirus? Like they died whilst having coronavirus by being hit by a bus. Oh, they got killed by coronavirus.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of that, wasn't it? When it was, I think the stat they were saying was mentioned on the death certificate. And you could have been in hospital for something completely different, and then you actually caught COVID, and that sort of finished you off, sort of thing. But I think I tend to agree with you on that one. The data was a bit suspect, wasn't it? I think everyone was questioning it really, but
yeah. So that was my only thing on it, was what's being exaggerated. I always thought that there is a virus, but yeah,
tough times.
Knocked me right out.
Do you feel like
back now, Mark? You're back.
Yeah,
back with a bang. I've seen you training, mate.
Have you got any sort of like side effects from it? Because you hear a lot about this long COVID thing. Like obviously your body took a battering. You lost that weight. What was it like going back to the gym after that? That must have been really tough.
Okay, so a couple of side effects, right? Before we get back into the gym stuff.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, I've come out of it for a start. A lot of people haven't, and luckily I haven't got long COVID.
Yeah, good.
which I feel very blessed not to have. What I've discovered with what happened with me, how it affected me, I didn't lose my taste. My tastes have changed.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is bizarre. I'm finding it bizarre personally.
Mm.
So before COVID, I was a confessed chocoholic. If it's got chocolate on it, I'll eat it. I don't care what it is. I haven't eaten chocolate since.
No.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'd be devastated because I'm a chocoholic as well.
Life over, like.
Well, imagine, like, you know how you feel about chocolate. You put it, you know, you start eating it. It
If
tastes,
I say I'm eating it.
Yeah.
It's satisfying. It does all of the right things that food should do, but it's bad for you. We know this. Anyway,
Yeah.
imagine waking up one day and just never feeling like you want chocolate.
Yeah, it's pretty weird, isn't it?
That's what I've gone through. Also, coffee. I used to have a coffee in the morning every day without fail, no matter what day it is. Am I getting up for work? Am I getting up to go to the gym? Am I getting up just to chill? Coffee.
Wow.
I haven't had one since.
Oh,
No
man.
way.
That's
Yeah.
like shit. That's
Imagine
worse than
like-
not like a chocolate, man.
Yeah.
I think I'd have been like, COVID, take me.
Yeah. Give it. Let me have it again.
but there was also other things. So I think they're both linked, and I think that's to do with dairy. I don't know why now. Dairy just leaves a bad kind of like aftertaste and feeling if I have any dairy.
Yeah.
Weirdly, the week that I got my appetite back, I couldn't put enough Sprite in my mouth.
Yeah.
I could not stop drinking Sprite. Not Fanta, not Coca-Cola, not Dr. Pepper, Sprite.
Really?
Yeah. Just
weird,
absolutely bizarre. And
Okay.
since then, that's changed because obviously being in the fitness industry, you know what's good and what's bad for you, or you should know. So since then, I've had to come away from that, like a recovering addict kind of thing. And
It's been
I've
10
left
days
over
since
to
my
orange
last
juice.
Fanta. Like.
Hi, I'm Mark, and I'm a Sprite
yeah.
addict.
I'm 2 years clean.
Yeah, so I've tried to dehook myself from that and change it over to orange juice. At least it's a little bit healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I start the day now with an orange juice instead of a coffee.
Oh, nice.
That's just
How'd you
mad,
get your
isn't it?
caffeine fix though, Mark? Knocko, is it?
It's gone to knockos.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
up until this week, I would say, I wasn't having any caffeine whatsoever.
Right. Okay.
But because now Strength in Depth is happening in November, and the gym I go to, we've qualified.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky enough to have been selected in the team. I just felt like my training when
Needs
I
to go
went
up a
to
level.
the gym needed a little kick,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
I've turned to knockos.
Yeah. Knocko's life.
Knocko is life.
Yeah.
We love Knocko. All right, thanks,
Yeah.
man. That sounds absolutely crazy what you've been through, but
Absolutely.
that's
So
good.
yeah, if we then take it to the fitness thing.
Yeah, we'll get on to that now. So I'm was CrossFit like your starting point of fitness, or did you do anything before you found CrossFit? Like, have you always been into fitness and gone to the gym, or was you just like, oh, there's this new thing called CrossFit, I'm gonna go try it?
So CrossFit for me is kind of like I found a home. Okay.
Yeah.
After being lost for a while in the wilderness of football, because when I was aged 4, my mum took me to pick up my sister from a gymnastics class. And I was hanging on the bar, which I shouldn't have been. I was a little shit when I was a kid. I was hanging on the bar over the foam pit and swinging. And the male gymnastic coach came over and was like, "How old is that boy?" And I was like, "Oh, he's 4. Why?" And he said, "He's displaying really good kind of like, coordination, blah, blah, blah." All I was doing was swinging on the bar. I thought I was having a whale of a time.
Yeah.
He's like, "We don't usually have them in under 5, but bring him Monday."
Wow.
So from age 4, I've been training as a gymnast. I carried on that until 16, 17.
Wow.
I got to be Welsh junior champion.
That's cool.
And I also
Jesus,
got to British. No, I never represented Britain. I represented Wales many times, but I got to train with the British squad. Didn't get to represent them, but got to train with them. As in, we would go squad training. You'd stay a week in the summer. I can't remember the school, but it's a big private school. So we'd all stay in what was like barracks, train 3 times a day, all your food's done, set meals, blah, blah,
What did you specialize in, Mark? Like the bars, was it, or?
Common question whenever anyone says I'm a gymnast. None of them specialize in any.
Oh, they just do the whole thing, do they?
Yeah, all gymnasts.
Really?
So male gymnasts have 6 pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
On horse, rings, floor, vault, parallel bars, high bar.
Right.
Female gymnasts have 4 pieces of equipment: floor, vault, asymmetric bars, beam. And all gymnasts generally do them all, train in them all.
I did not know that.
Okay. No, I'm here then.
Yeah. However, you may be far better at one than you are at the other. So what happens is in gymnastics, when you have an individual comp, they will have different competitions within the competition. So like I've just said there, if I'm a male, I've got to do these 6 pieces of equipment. So you'll have your overall competition, who can get the best score by doing a routine on all of these pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
And then they'll have a different competition, so individual pieces of equipment, whereby you'll then go and do either the same routine or a different routine on one piece of equipment, and then a certain amount, so say like 10 gymnasts will qualify for the finals of the individual apparatus, and then they'll battle it out for gold, silver, and bronze on that one piece of apparatus.
Well, that's cool. Didn't realize that.
Oh, you learn something new.
We do. Yeah.
That's why you make muscle ups look so easy, then, is it?
Yeah.
So what was what was the turning point? So like, why transition from that into CrossFit?
This is more to do with why I'm a chocoholic than I like alcohol. Okay? So when your diet is so restricted as a kid, and you have then something that is really nice like chocolate, when you are no longer training 6 times a week, and you start to get a life and discover women and
women and booze.
Yeah.
Other things, yeah.
I wasn't doing that. So I was training six nights a week until 16, 17. So I had no experience of 2 liters of cider at the park and
lightning.
Yeah.
You missed out.
Yeah, I missed out on all of that. But if you can imagine going from that, training that much and being that restricted, to then being allowed to do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, that's insane.
Nice. I just turned to chocolate.
Partied hard.
Well, yeah. But I feel like I missed the whole phase. I think this has done me a favor, if I'm honest with you. I missed the whole phase of when people start discovering alcohol. Therefore, absolutely no alcohol tastes nice to me, apart from old moot ciders. I don't know what they do with them. They're beautiful.
It just tastes like pop.
Yeah. But
yeah, I missed out on all that. But then from from gymnastics, it then went to football. So I think I was my first ever game was about 10. I was late starting with football because of gymnastics. But from 15, 16, then it was just, I love football. Play football every weekend, only train for football. So weirdly, after gymnastics, I didn't spend any time in a gym.
Okay.
Did all of my training kind of like running, football training, and then any bodyweight things that I wanted to do, I did at home. So I had a little routine I used to do, involved a lot of hollow and arches. I had a pull-up bar, the ones that go over the door kind of thing.
Yeah.
One of them, and it was press-ups and handstand push-ups and so on and so on. So yeah, there was a lot of time where I had no kind of like gym in my life. And then at the grand old age of, I think it was about 36, a friend of mine that knows I used to be a gymnast said to me he wants to learn certain gymnastic movements because he was going to CrossFit. So he asked me to come to this gym with him, which was a CrossFit gym near where I live.
Was this Taylor?
No.
Oh, right, okay.
No, funnily enough, I introduced Taylor to it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I went with him, and he wanted to learn about handstands and toes to bar and so on. So yeah, I was just helping him out. Me and him were kind of like doing a couple of sessions now and then. In terms of me and him would train, and then after he trained, I would help him with a bit of handstands or a bit of handstand presses to handstand and things like that. But while we were doing that, there was a CrossFit class going on kind of like in the same building. So I'm looking over and I'm like,
this looks cool.
What are they doing? Yeah, this looks cool. So I tried a class out, absolutely loved it. Never looked back.
What was the first WOD?
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I can tell you this. It involved toes to bar.
Oh, really? So you were loving it?
Well, this is my my first ever CrossFit story.
Yeah.
It involved toes to bar, and the coach was demoing toes to bar. Okay, going through the movement, going through the scales. And I'm there with my friend. Now, as a gymnast, you would have only ever done toes to bar strict.
Yeah.
You would have only ever done them strict. A kip in gymnastics, you only use, and it's one kip to then bring your feet up to the bar to then kick out to get you swinging.
Okay.
Right, around that big high bar. So this coach is demonstrating the toes to bar, and I'm watching. It's all new to me, so I'm like paying attention. And she then starts kipping and linking them, kipped. So I turn to my friend. I'm like, "You're allowed to swing?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, they're just bloody easy, aren't they?"
Yeah, do this all day, man.
Like, this guy.
That's class.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, so could you link them obviously quite comfortably then, could you? Because obviously it's not something you've done, but it obviously come natural to you, I guess, and Mark.
Yeah,
linking all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, this is a good point. This because everybody is quite quick to do this, including myself. When you see somebody that you think is naturally good at something, what you don't see is the 12 years they put in of doing toes to bar with someone hitting your toes with a stick if they're not pointed.
Yeah.
So behind everybody that looks talented is years and years of practice.
Yeah. Crafting the skill.
Yeah. So they did come, we can say call it. They did come naturally.
Yeah.
But that's because I've done, 12 years of strict toes to bar.
That's the key, isn't it? It's most coaches say it, and they, you've got to do your strict work first. There's no good jumping on a pull-up bar and trying to do kipping pull-ups if you can't do strict pull-ups to start with. And you see it a lot in gyms, and people trying to do all this kipping and they can't even do strict pull-ups. It's like, what's the point, sort of thing, isn't it? You got to get your strict. Like when I come into CrossFit, obviously, we did a lot of bodybuilding for years, and I did so much strict pull-up. Well, it was just pull-ups at the time. I didn't know anything other than. You never called them strict when I was in the gym, but pull-up was a pull-up. Like you said, I'd never. What the hell is this swinging? What are they doing?
Exactly.
So yeah, I did so much pull-ups, I did loads of leg raises when I was in the gym. I loved all that body weight stuff, and obviously it transferred well. Then going to one of the few things that transferred into and did me good in CrossFit. But
yeah. Oh, you'd be surprised though, because bodybuilders do make good CrossFitters.
Yeah,
because they've got a good amount of strength.
A good core strength, I guess, isn't it? And a good base.
Yeah, but going back to the kind of like the gymnastics and the transfer, I think I had. I'm trying to think of anything I didn't have now, but I think I had all of the CrossFit gymnastic movements inside a month.
Right.
Which
is
cool.
Yeah.
Which I think like the hardest movements to master as well, man. The hardest movements to get. I think, like, if I look at myself, I've been doing it consistently, probably now in total like a year and a half, 2 years, and only now am I starting to like finally get those gymnastic movements. Like the rest of the stuff you just pick up as you go along, and especially like I was doing like bodybuilding and things like that before, so a clean and jerk for me is like it's easy money. I can do that all day long. But then you start chucking toes to bar in, like my body's never done anything like that before, because I would never do it. I would never do that sort of stuff in the gym. I just neglect it because I wasn't interested in it. And now I'm like, yeah, go and do 21-15 9 toes to bar. That's like hell for me. Because I was just never trained it. I never used to it. So that's sort of, for me now, it's like, that's my challenge now is gymnastics. And Oh, getting there. I'm losing.
You literally just said that WOD then 2159 toes the bar, and it put a smile on my face. I love that.
No, I'd rather barbell. But like, I'm dropping weight at the moment just to get more efficient on the bar because I was like 17 stone, and that's a lot of weight to pull, especially like in a muscle up and a pull up. That's a lot of weight to hold. So yeah, I'm dropping weight. I'm getting there. I think I'm down 5 kilos now. So
nice, well done, mate.
Yeah,
Great.
getting there. But
really good. If you want to do it faster, just catch some COVID.
I'm just gonna go around licking stuff like
licking door handles and stuff.
Yeah. Give me your gyms. I'm trying to lose some weight.
With the I have this discussion a lot. I really enjoy it. So with like clean and jerks, very strength, very power, very little of the neurological factors of CrossFit. So you guys know obviously who Glassman was, even though he's gone now.
Yeah.
One of the first things he did in order to create this brand CrossFit, was define fitness, and he defined it in 3 different ways. One of the ways was by identifying 10 components.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably common knowledge to you guys because you've drunk from the Kool-Aid. So he identified 4 physiological factors: flexibility, strength. Why can't I remember them now? I'm talking about them. But also 4 neurological, and then 2 which are a mixture of both.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Speed and power. The 4 neurological: accuracy, balance, coordination, and where's that gone? Accuracy, balance, coordination, agility.
Mm-hmm.
With strength, you can work on strength by doing things like squats, curls, pull-ups, and you will see gains week to week. See gains, even though to build good strength it takes time, takes years. You can do a 6-week squat program, and by the end of it, see gains.
Yeah, you'll see the results.
Yeah, you'll see results, and therefore be more and more encouraged to do it again, do it heavier, do it stronger, so on and so on. With the neurological components of fitness, you don't see gains.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is repeat and repeat and repeat a movement pattern until you don't have to think about it. And that takes a good long while. And then one day it'll just click and you've got it.
Mm-hmm.
But between not being able to do it and it just clicking and you've got it, there is no indication of whether you're getting better.
Yeah. I could 100% relate to that. And
that is why gymnastics within CrossFit is the most frustrating thing, because people are so used to going to the gym, doing some strength and seeing some
progressing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And it's like double unders is a good example as well, isn't it? You're like
example.
Now,
they're just clicking in.
Yeah, and when I first started doing it, all I was thinking about was right, jump and whip that rope, and then you're thinking like, Christ, I'm not jumping quick enough. Then all of a sudden you stumble. Whereas now I just pick a spot on the wall in front of me, just look at that, and bang, away you go, and you don't even think about it. Gymnastics, me on the other hand, all I'm doing is thinking about, got to get those toes to the bar, So I'm going through that sort of journey now of doing it every single day to just keep practicing and practicing and practicing. But yeah, because I'm thinking about it, that's when you stop being able to do it, because you spend so much of your energy thinking about, oh, this is what you should be doing, rather than when it just comes naturally, you just do it, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's that coordination, because like you say with the double unders there, first of all you were struggling, but then at one point you were just like, bam, now I'm just looking at the wall and doing it without thinking.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how much of a part coordination plays in certain movements. So when you start to add coordination to weightlifting, if you look at what kind of like weightlifting movement is the most requires the most coordination, it's a snatch.
Yeah.
And the one weightlifting movement most people struggle with.
Snatch.
Yeah.
So coordination plays such a big part in a lot of what you do. The toes to bar, like I'll give you a good example of this. Like within gymnastics, yes, there's a strength element to every single movement.
Mm-hmm.
Some require more, some require a bit less. Toes to bar, for example, you do need a strong core. So if you put me and James, Taylor, the guy's ripped.
Yeah.
If you put me and him on a GHD next to each other and said, both of you do GHD sit-ups at the same pace until your core gives out, he'd probably go twice as long as I go.
Really?
Yeah. But if you then put us on a bar and said, both of you do toes to bar until you can't do any more, he'd give out way before I give out. I'd probably end up doing what I did, yeah. And like, to add, to make it worse for your woes of learning toes to bar, my grip would give out before my abs.
Well,
and it's only because of the coordination of, like, one of the things in gymnastics is the creation of momentum, but then the manipulation of momentum. So I know when to, like, add to the kick.
Yeah, I got you.
With the pull
you must be so efficient with them, I guess. Then, obviously, that's the key. Is
you're using hardly any of your abs, using your momentum rather than your muscles. That's why your grip goes.
Yeah. And whenever, like, yes, you should do strict toes to bar first. But while you're doing that, I would also have someone practice kipping and lifting their legs and feeling where that hollow turns to, that arch turns to a hollow, and you can add power. And then with that momentum that you've created by adding that power, when to kind of like stop your hips, but let your feet rise.
Yeah.
And then when to add to that with a lat pull down. And if you get that spot on, they just look effortless.
Awesome. So, like, you clearly got a lot of gymnastics knowledge, as you would for doing it for that long. So at what point, like, in your sort of CrossFit, at what point in your time in CrossFit did you really want to start making this more of like a career? So you're a coach. I know you aspire to want to open your own box when in the future or whenever. But at what point did you start to think, okay, I love this sport. I'm damn good at gymnastics. I want to start teaching and helping and actually create a business from this?
It was after about a year. So when I first started doing CrossFit, I absolutely loved how much it battered me. Which is a weird thing. Like, we've all been through
that's the addictive side of it, though, isn't it?
But then what like really brought it home for me was, when you wake up the next day and you ache. I hadn't felt that since gymnastics. Don't get me wrong, you're tired after a game of football, especially when you give it your all, but you don't have DOMS.
You're not sore. Like,
and this gave me DOMS like I used to have when I did gymnastics, and I was like, this is what's been missing. So after about a year of training for myself, to just basically prolong my football career, I kind of like really love it. Like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the training. I thought it was brilliant. But then I started looking at the philosophy of it and why it was created and why does it work. And then I started to realize it's functional. It doesn't matter who does it. It'll work as long as they stick to it. But then I was like, obviously, because I could do the gymnastics, people just started asking me, like,
naturally started saying,
for this. I remember there was one open. It was one of my first opens. I've got a story about my first open, actually. We'll come back to that. So it was probably my second open, because I joined right on one of the first opens. So it was my second open. They changed the handstand push-up standards. And it was like a measurement from here to here, half that, above your head, blah, blah, blah. And people were really struggling at the top, and I didn't miss one. And it was because nobody basically held a straight line when you're up in a handstand. And they didn't know about this in a handstand. So, yeah, people were asking me, like, what can I do? And I was just saying what I would do. And then I started realizing I can help people.
Yeah.
I can actually help people here. And I also separately, like at the time I was coaching, they must have been about under nines football team. And I've always enjoyed coaching. So I just kind of like married the two together. and found out that I absolutely love it. I've always liked helping people. I've always liked coaching. And then there was this, like you say, this bit of knowledge that I have from gymnastics that I've never really used before, that was still there in me somewhere, and just started helping people with gymnastics. And that then turned into gymnastics classes, and that then turned into coaching at Pen y Bont for a time, and then Llantrison.
Oh, wow.
And it all
snowballed from there, sort of thing, man.
Yeah.
That's good. So what's the plan for your gym? Are you gonna go and do that, or?
Yeah. So it's
Awesome,
the dream, so to put it, is to open my own gym one day. It'll be functional based CrossFit.
Yeah.
I'd like to start small and then build, rather than just try and open some giant gym and everyone come to me. I'm going to base it as much as I can around community, more than anything else. On my travels of CrossFit, going to a few gyms, I found the most important thing is community.
100%.
Most important thing is community. So yeah, at the moment, I'm trying to build up a bit of an online community.
Okay.
I'm doing kind of like 3 sessions for people that either can't make the gym, don't want to go to a gym, or for some reason you can't get to a gym, or you just want to do home workouts. You'd rather no one see what you're doing, and whatever the reason is. So I do programming that is 3 workouts a week with either just a dumbbell or just a kettlebell.
Okay.
And I'm charging minimal amounts just to get a good membership and a good community. Throughout the summer, we then met up, and I took them a pen and van. We went to the waterfalls, we did some community stuff.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, if I do open a gym, they join.
I'm sure they will.
It's called, was it called Vale Community Fitness, Mark?
Vale Community Fitness.
Yeah, you want to give that a shout out, wouldn't it? Do a bit of advertising on the pod.
Thank you very much.
It's free. It's free. You don't charge for it. No, that's awesome, mate. And I seriously hope you get that. And we've got a lot of knowledge, and we'll definitely be down for a session if you do.
Nice.
I can speak from experience, Mark. Obviously, I started CrossFit, so you were there for the start of my CrossFit journey. I think I probably did it a couple of months before you joined CrossFit Llantrison, as it was then, and you can really see you've got a real big passion for coaching, and always very willing to help out, and I always felt like you're always there, always happy to help out, and your advice was fantastic as well, and I enjoyed being coached by you, to be fair, and I think other members did as well at the time.
You're very welcome, mate. And
so
it's in the job description. Coach me, help out. So I'll never, if anybody asks for my help, I would never turn it down.
And I think the one thing there was as well, my squatting was horrendous, because throughout my, it's like when you're bodybuilding, legs, you just don't do it. leg
neglect those.
No, you're right. So my squatting was dreadful. And I think you actually said to me, play football? I said, yeah, all my life. You're like, yeah, you've got no ankle mobility, I think it was at the time. Yeah. And at fair play, you really sorted my squats right out at the time. And so I got you to thank for that, for set me on the right journey to squat properly.
Well, there we go.
So
appreciate that.
What advice, Mark, would you give? I know we've got a few listeners who are already in the CrossFit sort of community and fitness, but also we've got a few who actually don't do anything. And part of creating this show is to try and help those people and get them to understand that, it's scary as fuck to walk into a CrossFit gym, especially because it's so intimidating, but it's for everyone. Like, what advice would you give someone who's sort of never trained, or maybe used to train and hasn't done for the past, 10 years and is out of shape and is wanting to get back into that? What would you really give them in terms of advice of in a CrossFit space? Like, what would you sort of encourage them to do?
Do you mean to get them in the gym or when they're in the gym?
Both. Just get them in the gym, get them there first, and then what it would sort of look like from your perspective of, you got the guys there doing rope climbs and all that. Like, I remember when I first walked into the CrossFit gym, I was like petrified. And, you know, I've been to gyms, I've lifted weights and all that sort of stuff, but coming into there, it was so alien to me, because it was like, okay, these guys are like climbing ropes, they're throwing weights around, they're then doing burpees, they're jumping on boxes, and then next to them they're doing like muscle ups. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is nuts. But like, it is scary. You see people coming in like going white, going, oh my God, I can't do any of this. But my realization was, you don't go straight to that. You start at the bottom and you build. So like, what that journey looks like. So I guess like, from your perspective as a coach and hopefully a future boxer, and getting that person to get there first and take the plunge, as I call it, to walk through the door, and then what sort of that program will look like to getting you from, I don't do much movements, to, okay, I'm going to get my first pull-up, for example. How does that sort of look like?
Okay, so we'll attack this in two parts. Like,
sorry, mate.
First of all, getting them into the gym.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky in the way that I enjoy trying new things. So when I saw what was going on in the CrossFit box, when my friend asked for help, I immediately said yes. And when I saw what was going on in CrossFit box, I'd never done it before. They were chucking big weights around. They were doing these funny pull-up things. They were doing burpees, which I know from experience suck.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to go with that. So I'm lucky in that way, but I know people aren't. So what I would say is, if you are looking to get yourself fit, okay, if you don't want to trust my word that the programming works because it's functional fitness, it's what your body was built to do, then do yourself a bit of research. You may find that you enjoy something else. You know, you may find you enjoy kayaking.
Yeah.
Go and join a kayak club. Anything that gets you active, you know. But if it's CrossFit you're settled on and you're a bit intimidated, okay, this would probably be my best advice, especially if you're in somewhere like Cardiff. It's a little bit different with places like Llantrison or Barry or Bridgend, because there's like one gym per town. But if you're lucky to be in somewhere like Cardiff, Birmingham, London, go and book yourself a free, because they all offer free tasters.
Yeah.
Go and book yourself a free taster for, say, 4 or 5 weeks straight in all of them around you, and see which one you feel the most welcome in. Because there'll be one. There'll be one where you feel quite intimidated because everybody's got their tops off, they're smashing massive weights. They're competitive, and therefore they may not have time for you.
Yeah.
But then you have one whereby you walk in, you tell someone your name, and they always call you by your name. They don't say mate, they don't say bro. They say, hey James, how's it going? Hey Cal, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for coming in, Cal. We'll tell you a bit about ourselves, and they will make you feel welcome. So that's what I'd say to get them in there, is find the one where you feel comfortable. Because even though we know we've drunk from the Kool-Aid, eventually you'll feel comfortable in all of them.
Yeah.
Unless there's some crazy people in there. Eventually you will feel comfortable in all of them, but find that one that initially takes the edge away from your anxiety. When you're in there, it's probably the same advice I'd offer everyone anyway. Learn the basics. One of the beautiful things about CrossFit, one of the things I love about it, and one of the things that keeps people hooked, is every single movement has levels to it.
Yeah.
And I don't call them levels, I call them traps, because they trap you. They keep you trapped in CrossFit so that you don't want to go anywhere else. And what I mean by this is handstand push-ups. Okay. Very big, scary movement for a lot of people. In many ways, strength, people just generally who haven't been upside down before really don't like it. But if we regress the movement of a handstand push-up back to its basic, you're doing a push-up on your knees. Or, like the official CrossFit way, you're doing strict shoulders overhead with very, very light dumbbells.
Yeah.
And everyone can do that. And that's the beauty of it. Because then if you progress it, so I'm now going from not being able or hardly being able to do push-ups on my knees. So whenever there's push-ups in a WOD, I'm doing 5. I'm scaling it down to 5 and then moving on to the next movement, 5 on my knees. Fast forward 2 months, I've gone to 10. I've seen gains. This is amazing. I'm loving what I'm doing because I can see myself progressing. Fast forward another 2-3 months, you're now doing push-ups with a straight body, with straight legs. You've just gone up a level, you're trapped. The trap's got you.
You're hooked.
You're hooked. You fast forward it then to your feet are on a box. You're almost upside down. Look how much progress you've made. You're trapped. They've got you. As soon as you're there, you want to get handstand push-ups.
Yeah.
They've got
Right.
you. You're trapped. But that's what's so beautiful about it is every single movement. Take away the gymnastics. Let's look at barbell. You start with a PVC pipe.
Yeah.
After a few weeks, you've learned the movement pattern. You're doing it with a barbell. You're doing it with 20 kilos if you're a guy.
Yeah,
Now,
which is a lot.
When I walked into the CrossFit gym, I never touched a barbell in my life. Obviously, I had because I'm quite active and ex-gymnast, I had a bit of strength, so I could then start doing what they're doing. But for the people that couldn't, to go from a PVC pipe to an empty barbell is a big thing. Because now you're playing with the big boys. You're one of them. You're trapped.
Yeah,
They've got you.
That's what I love about it as well. Like, it's anyone can do it. Doesn't matter. Like, and I think a great. I think I sent it to you, James, and it's a documentary. CrossFit.com put it on. Killing the Fat Man. I don't know if you've seen it, Mark.
I think I might have.
Yeah, it's this regular guy. He's like a videographer, but massively overweight. Like, openly admits, like, I hate fitness, and it's a whole documentary about him getting into CrossFit, and then like the transformation he goes through is insane. Like the amount of like weight he loses, and he becomes obsessed. But it shows you his journey about when he first walks into the gym and he can't even do a pull up, and then like you said, Mark, about all the progressions and everything's scalable. This guy has never done an exercise in his life, and then he did his first workout, and yeah, it's just that's what gets you hooked, because it doesn't matter what you do, where you come from, anyone can do it, and then you just keep progressing and progressing and progressing. That's what keeps me hooked anyway. It's like it's an addiction. Yeah, traps you because you constantly want to get to the next level and better yourself. And then when you start throwing in like, scores and times, that just makes it even worse, because then it's like, oh God, I got to beat that time and beat that score. So yeah.
Yes, walking out of the gym every time you walk out after a CrossFit session, it's knowing that you've got that little bit better and you've improved on something and you've just bettered yourself. I feel like I better myself every single day when I come out of the gym. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, completely.
And that's CrossFit for you.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
completely. And even as good as you are, Mark, which obviously you're a very good CrossFitter, I bet it's the same for you. I bet you feel like you're getting a little bit better every time you come out of that gym. You've improved.
Absolutely. And like
the 1% here or the 1% there.
Yeah, where you say to me there that you think I'm a good CrossFitter.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's brilliant that you think that. Like, I don't think I am. But then there are guys and girls who I think are good CrossFitters, and it's like the same thing,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's always some way where you could be better. So myself personally,
right.
cardio. I hate running.
Mm-hmm.
Never liked it. When I say running, I was fine playing football because it's short sprints here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
And I found I can recover quite quick from short sprints. As soon as you ask me to jog for more than 5 minutes, that's not for me. That's not my DNA.
Go and do a 5K. I'm like, fuck that. Like,
yeah, it's not for me. The most I'd ever run before CrossFit was 3 miles, and that was only because football training made me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally cannot stand long distance running. Everything hurts.
Yeah.
So I know I need to improve there. My barbell still needs to improve. There's lots of things. Like, weirdly for me now, after COVID, my ring muscle ups have disappeared.
Oh wow.
No way.
Yeah, I can jump on a ring on the rings fresh. I could get 5 to 7 out. As soon as I'm fatigued, 0.
Wow, that's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's bizarre.
Again,
but yeah, there's always something to work on. There's always something you can level up on. And as soon as you level up on said movement, you're hooked.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah.
And like you said there, Cal, as soon as you start adding times and scores to it and making it competitive,
the whole nother level.
yeah, they've got you.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's awesome. I love it. And CrossFit's life.
Oh,
So on that, let's go on to word of the week, because we like talking about our favorite words of the week. So James, let's start off with you, mate. What was your word of the week this week?
Right, so my
Wait,
word
didn't do
of
your
the
jingle.
week-
Do your jingle.
Yeah, word of the week. You still haven't done it, Carl.
No, I know. Damn it.
I think the audience want it. They want a jingle.
we definitely jingle.
So the word of the week for me was, I think it was yesterday. It was barbell. It was Macho Man, which for the people who don't know is 3 power cleans into 3 front squats into 3 push jerks. Now I don't know if that's sort of it's a benchmark. It's one of the many benchmark workouts. I don't know if it's supposed to be like 5 rounds for time or something. Usually it's in the
It's comp train, kind of like it's comp train benchmark.
Right. Okay. So you usually stick in variations, didn't you?
It's horrible. It's horrible. Horrible
sucks.
thing.
It sucks because I find the power cleans are okay, but then by the time you do the front squats, you come out with that 3rd front squat, your legs are wobbling a little bit, and then you got to also use your legs then for the jerks, and yeah, it gets real tough. But it was like an ascending rounds with 50 double unders in between each round. So it was like 1 round of Macho Man, 50 double unders, 2 rounds of Macho Man, 50 double unders, 3, all the way up to 5. So it was good fun. It was a bit of a blower. There's a lot of staying at the bar, gotta be honest. I'm willing to move.
Staring into the abyss.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. But yeah, it's just good fun. I quite like the barbell movements. So my double unders are coming on leaps and bounds now as well. So
issue I was going to ask is how
enjoyed
do you find the double unders? Because I can tell you now, if I did that workout, most of the time wouldn't be spent looking at the bar. Most of the time it'd be folded over after 10 double unders for me.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
No, I did the first unbroken, but after that it was sort of tripping and doing 2 and 3 sets then.
Especially with those squats, like your legs are getting gassed.
Yeah.
And then you chuck in double unders if they get no break at all.
I found the double unders was a nice welcome break away from the barbell though, especially when you're in your sort of round 4 and round 3 and round 4. It's like just nice to look at the skipping rope instead of the barbell for a minute.
As some people would say, the double unders are the rest. Like, are they fuck? Are they fuck?
I don't talk to them.
So yeah, I enjoyed that one. That was good fun.
Awesome. So mine, it's been started a new cycle this week with JST, so back on strength, which is cool. So there's nothing too crazy. It's more sort of maintaining your sort of conditioning level and just keep ticking it over before we start ramping up the intensity. So it was a 25-minute AMRAP of a 40-meter farmer's carry, so dual kettlebells at 24k, and then 15 cal on the assault bike, 12 box jump overs, 15 cal row, 40-meter dumbbell front rack carry, and then 15 cal ski. So just nice and steady, but 25 minutes, it got sweaty. And then rest 5 minutes, then it was just 15 minutes all out go. So 60 seconds on a row, 60 seconds on a ski, 60 seconds on an assault bike, just hammer it for 15 minutes. So I was pretty trashed after. I think I sent you my Whoop data, didn't I, James? I burnt like 800 calories or something. Insane like that.
Is this JST?
Yeah.
This sounds JST.
Volume.
I think it's crazy volume, isn't it? JST?
The commentary on the bottom is, this is just easy pennies in the bank to finish off the season. It's like, fuck me. Like, this is just nuts.
Yeah. All right, Steve.
Yeah, you're crazy, man. But I really enjoyed it, considering, I've had a few tough weeks in the gym where I just haven't felt 100%. I felt good going back into that, and especially getting on the old assault bike and hammering that for 15 minutes. Hurt like fuck, but it's just nice to blow the cobwebs out sometimes, isn't it? And
yeah.
Just
how were your legs after that, Wad?
Wrecked. And that was Tuesday. So on the Monday we did squatting, which was great. So Monday was back squats, and also assault bike intervals. So 4 sets.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
4 sets of 60
What
seconds
a week.
max effort. I was like, fuck me, there's 2 days in a row on assault bike.
Yeah.
So yeah, my legs were trashed to the point where I thought I'll book my rest day today rather than tomorrow. So I'll go in because I was just knackered. Like my legs are in bits. So front squats tomorrow now. So but yeah, that was my word of the week. What about you, Mark?
Okay. Word of the week. I'm gonna go back, not the Sunday just gone, but the Sunday before. So almost a week. And a little bit of background. So it was one of the WODs from the MASH. So it's not the whole thing. It was actually the last one. Okay. There's 2 guys. Well, the guy that owns the gym, Brad. Just to give you kind of like an idea of his fitness level. Number one, he trains with a guy regularly called Alex Imbert. Now, Alex Imbert qualified for SID individual finals and competed against Matt Fraser.
Wow.
So they when they train, they compete against each other. And, you know, yeah, Alex wins quite a few, but Brad wins some against Alex, you know, even though we don't compete against each other. But yeah.
No.
So yeah, like Brad regularly beats Alex in WODs. That's the fitness level of this guy. And then just to reiterate that, those 2 did SID Inferno that you guys did.
Yeah.
And they come second.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Just see. Yeah.
So these guys are fit.
Mm.
They're minimum regional level fit. So minimum semi-final level fit.
Mm.
You know, they may make the games. I wouldn't say they'd go and win it, but
they got the potential to get there. Like,
you know, yeah, they've got the potential to get there. So along comes this third WOD of the day last Sunday, and it was 30, 20, 10 toes to bar press ups after every round. So after you do your 30 toes to bar, 30 press ups, 50-foot handstand walk.
Oh, cool.
20, 20, 50 foot, 10, 10, 50 foot. Now, when I say I've never beaten Brad in the WOD, let me tell you, I've never, ever beaten Brad in the WOD in anything at all. But I beat him in this one.
Yeah, 2 great movements for you there, Mark.
Never heard the end of it. And he never will hear the end of it.
it's on the podcast as well. Huh?
Yeah,
It's on the
exactly.
podcast. So yeah,
if there's ever a wheelhouse WOD for you, toes to bar and
right up the
handstand
street,
walk is one of it.
exactly. Yeah, and I think even with that, I think I beat him by about 5 seconds, if that. But I don't care. I'm taking it.
Yeah,
win's a win, mate. Win's a win.
I put it on a story immediately.
Yeah,
tagged him.
Yeah, that's a great achievement, that, Mark. Fair play.
Wrote it in your calendar, on your phone, like everything. Like.
Yeah. Today was the day.
It's always great when you beat the coach. I mean, whenever I beat Rachel in a WOD, I always message her. Always
just drop it in there, like.
Always message her. Always give her a stick, like. You got over there.
You got to have that band. Makes it all worthwhile.
Especially Rachel, because she gets real wound up as well. Comes up with all the excuses.
yeah, exactly.
I love it.
Yeah, so yeah, my WOD of the week: 30, 20, 10, toes to bar, press ups, 50-foot handstand walk after each 30, 20, 10.
Sounds nasty, man. All right, awesome. Yes, it's awesome. Best workout in the world.
Ever.
So let's go into some guest trivia then. Okay, so we're gonna ask you some questions now. So my first one to you: echo bike or assault bike?
Good question. I feel like you can rag an assault bike more. So if it was a competition, I would say assault bike. Just because they feel less sturdy, so you feel like
I'll have to agree. I think for our guests who don't know, so the assault bike was up first, wasn't it? That was like your sort of
the Echo Right is quite a new one, isn't it?
The disgusting thing everyone hates in the gym, and then Rogue brought out this thing called an Echo bike, which is just 10 times worse.
Even worse.
I think the good thing about the assault bike is you can hear it as well. You can hear it revving up, and that just gets you going even more. Whereas an assault bike, the Echo bike, it's just like nothing. And
it's quiet.
It's so quiet, and you hammer it, and it's like I've already done 2 cals.
Yeah.
You've like really got to get it going, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I really miss hammering the assault bike and jumping off the back as well and watching the cows take over. That's something that you can't do that on the echo bike.
It's just dead stop. And as soon as you start slowing down on an echo bike, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because it just saps your energy. Like, so yeah. I think on that one as well, I'd pick assault bike all day long. I think in a comp, just because it's just you just rag the shit out of it. Probably from a fitness point of view, echo bike is probably a little bit better. But I'd rather if I had the choice, I'd pick the assault bike all day.
Yeah, probably train on it on an echo bike.
Absolutely, yeah.
The dark place we like to go in is that little bit darker on an echo bike than an assault bike.
Oh yeah,
it's not good. I remember when I did my the Rogue Challenge, the 50 cal challenge on the echo bike. Killed me off to the point where like I was still coughing like 3 hours later. Like horrendous.
Fran lung from an assault bike.
Oh mate, it's just hell. Pure hell.
Yeah, that doesn't even sound good. That doesn't even sound like a good workout, 50 cals on assault. Because you're gonna set it.
Yeah, you have to, yeah. It was for time.
No, yeah. So, nobody thinks what I'll do is I'll pace the first 10 cals.
Yeah.
Everybody gets on it and sends it when you say 50 cals.
And just hang on for life.
Yeah. And then that hanging on is the worst ever. It's just
it is, isn't it?
And you can't slow down because as soon as you start slowing down, you can't get it back up to the RPM. So you screwed.
Yeah,
I think as far as like horrendous places to be mentally in CrossFit, being stuck on an assault bike or an echo bike with sort of 10, 20 cals to go in a workout, or maybe there's another 3 rounds to go afterwards. I don't think there's many worse places to be, is it? When your head's down, you're hunched over and you
think you've done like 20 cals and you've done 5 and you're like, I've got to do 30 to move on to the next one.
I horrific.
Completely agree there, James. Like,
that's the biggest mental battle you'll have, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? It's got to be the top 3, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, and you're in trouble when this, the head.
Oh yeah. Because there's nowhere to go either. Say you're gassed on a barbell or on a rig, you can just step away and get a breath. When you're on the assault bike, there's no stopping, is it? You're there. You just got to grate it out and get on with it. You don't jump off an assault bike, do you, and have a breather?
No, right. Even with that, you do a row, you can do the pull, you can stop for a second, you can breathe.
Exactly.
You've got nowhere to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nowhere to hide. You're on it. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. If you could only pick one song to listen to for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh, for the rest of my life?
Yeah, just like one song.
Oh, I don't know about that.
You get fed up with that one now.
Yeah, real quick.
That's be a good song, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now.
Oh, wait, let's flip it then. Maybe an artist. Let's go for like one artist.
What about this then? If you could pick one song to work out to.
Oh yeah.
Oh, to WOD to.
Okay, WOD to. Let's go.
I feel like it'd be one of two, and it'd depend what I was doing. So it would either be Foo Fighters and All My Life.
Yeah,
which I'm told is Dad Rock. I'm not listening to that. I don't need that negative. Dad Rock. Or it would be the song's called What's Up Danger. It was on the Spider-Man Into the Multiverse soundtrack. Let me just get the artist for you. The artist is Blackway.
Okay.
And the song is called What's Up Danger.
What's Up Danger? Downloading it now.
That one I feel it is like a bridge towards the end. And if you don't get goosebumps from that.
What was the artist again?
Blackway.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. It's actually playing.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. I'm adding that to my library for tomorrow morning. There you go.
Go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it'd be that one or Foo Fighters, All My Life, or The Pretender. Either one of those two.
Yeah, it's both class songs. Both class songs. All right. Okay. Staying on the theme of music, then. So, if you had a choice to see one artist, so Freddie Mercury, Jimi Hendrix, or Michael Jackson, who would it be?
Michael Jackson, without hesitation.
Yeah, I think I would as well. What about you, James?
Freddie Mercury for me.
I'm a
big Queen fan. I think he's the greatest frontman that's ever lived. In my opinion.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Jimi Hendrix, yeah, not so much for me, but like Michael Jackson, class, but Freddie Mercury, awesome as well. Like.
Yeah, Freddie's more of a rocker, you know, I'm more into rock music and pop music, so I'd have to go down to Freddie. Don't get me wrong, Michael Jackson, yeah, absolute legend, and what he did for music was generational, and it was unbelievable, and never be repeated. But yeah, Freddie for me.
Right.
Love to have gone to see Queen.
Oh, I mean, mate, yeah, absolutely awesome, wasn't it? Well, I'd love to see
with Michael Jackson though, Carl.
Yeah.
Young or old? Young to teenager or older?
I think the older versions, who you get more of his.
Oh, the older version.
No, like, you know what I mean, like the later on in his career, so you get all the hits rather than just his early days when not all of his hits are out, sort of thing. So if you're gonna go see him, you want to see it all, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but for me though, it would probably be from Jackson 5 to.
Oh really? Well,
kind of the Billie Jean album.
Yeah. Class, awesome songs. Bloody MJ, legend. All right, James, you got some trivia questions, haven't you? Do you want to
ask? Yes. Have I?
Okay, well, this is one of James's questions. I'll just say because I wrote it down.
Go on, yeah.
What's your favorite CrossFit Games moment?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
It's past your bedtime, James, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting late now.
I would say Fraser, because he's my favorite athlete. Making the it's like 180 kilo clean.
In 2019.
Yeah, and
when he was on the ropes.
Yeah. Him and Pancha.
He was coming back. Yeah, you're right, because he was in a blue t-shirt, so he wasn't in the leader's jersey.
Yeah, it's class.
Yeah. And he nailed it, and you can just see the relief in his face.
Yeah, he smashed that clean. That was epic. I think me and James spoke about this in the week because we were like, this would be a good one to ask, and we were sort of going back and forth. Like for me, like there's so many, but one that stands out for me is when Josh Bridges won Murph in, I think it was 2016. Like just dusted the floor, like just wiped everyone out with his Murph. And for anyone who hasn't done Murph, it's a savage workout. So it's a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 press-ups, 300 air squats, I want to say. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, then a 1 mile run to finish. So once a year thing.
Terrific.
I really enjoyed it when I did it because it's like what you're doing it for. But yeah, Josh Bridges just comes in and just dusts the field, ex-Navy SEAL. Loved it. And his celebrations when he wins is just class. Like, so.
Yeah, you could see the passion.
Yeah, God, yeah. What about you, James?
I enjoyed Matt Fraser in I think it was his fourth win when in Fibonacci, when he completed the minimum work requirement. So he was only halfway through the workout, but that's all he had to do to win the games was to complete the minimum work requirement. You could just see him, normally a very serious guy in competition, just look up at the crowd and soak it all in and smile and just like, yeah, I've won. And I just felt that moment was really a real cool moment. He just sort of felt like he shared that with the crowd, and then he went on to absolutely smash everyone in that particular workout as well. So yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. Like you said, we all love Fraser, don't we?
Yeah, I've got another favorite Fraser moment, but it's not competing. He have you seen The Fittest?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was in that one. I don't think it was in Redeemed and Dominant. He's telling the story of how when he was swimming and a girl, after finishing the event, told him somebody grabbed her ankle and pulled her back.
Yeah.
And then later on, a guy told him, man, that swim was crazy. At one point, I just grabbed an ankle. He knows who they both are, but he won't say.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's class. I think another one of his phrases is like, I think it's in The Fittest. He's like, if I'm signing up, you're fucked.
Yeah.
That's just class, though, because he's just awesome, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm signing up. Everything he says is just, it rolls off his tongue, doesn't he? He's so cool, and everything he says that comes out of his mouth, it just makes sense, and it's sort of, plus it gives you goosebumps, and he's just such a cool dude.
Top trash talker.
Absolutely.
Yeah. but
highly intelligent man.
Really cool about it as well. Not like insulting. He's just like, yeah, oh well, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go.
He just comes across in them documentaries as just so well, doesn't he? You know, doesn't try to be anyone he's not. He's just him, and that's him. And he just comes across as fantastic. And he really is the poster boy in all them
I've said after about his third win, because obviously after that he was just dominating everything. The man, when he dies, needs to donate his body to science.
Yeah.
It's a
because
he's
he's not winning by coming, 5th, 8th, 10th.
He's dominating, right?
He's winning more events than he doesn't.
And he got better every year, which is just crazy. Like he just pushing the needle. Like he's a freak.
I wish he just did one more year, because I thought the programming in the last games was fantastic, and I think I had no doubt he would have won it. But it would have been interesting to see him take on that test of last year. To be honest, I would love to have seen that.
Yeah. You would have smashed it. I think absolutely blown her out the water. But it was good to see Medeiros win as well. I think he's the new kid on town. I still like Pat Vellner. I still think he's got a really good chance. And Fikowski was awesome this year, but Medeiros, he's still young. Like he's only just starting, and I think he's got a big future. And he's buddies with Matt. I'm sure he's been working with Matt a lot this season, and we'll see what he's like in the Rogue Invitational this weekend.
I thought the game's just gone. Vellner was going to win, but then Vellner did a Vellner, ruined his first event.
Yeah, he would have won otherwise.
Yeah.
But,
he improved it. He didn't even. The swimming wasn't too bad. He's improved his swimming drastically. It was the kayaking, wasn't it? He just. It's always something he slips up on, isn't it? It was quite frustrating, really.
Yeah.
I wanted Vellner to win. I'm a big Vellner fan. I think he's a cool ass dude. He's a great trash talker as well. And he just comes across as a real nice. I think we chatted about it before, Mark, didn't we? Where on our team dominant, when he was just like, one year I come on the floor and someone thought I was like a spectator or something, didn't they? Just a lost child like walked onto the floor by accident. When they were asking him if he was on steroids, that's where it was.
Yeah,
something like that.
His story about the assault bike one year in the games creases me every time, because he said he didn't realize how many big boys they've got at the games this year until he heard those assault bikes
revving up, like
and he said it was something like 40 cals, that tempting number where you can send it, but then you'll get off dead after.
Yeah.
So he's going about his business on the assault bike, and then he sees his judge's hand go up, and then the announcer announces Pat Vellner's judge is the first judge to have their hand up, and Vellner goes, "Oh no."
Yeah, I've gone too hard.
I know how this ends.
Yeah, that's right. I know those ends. I remember that. It was the one with a hammer, I think, when it was our event. When he had a hammer, the block, something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I know how this ends. Yeah. What a funny, cool ass dude. I'd love to see him win the games, to be fair.
Yeah.
Let's hope he does it next year.
We're rooting for you. We're rooting for you, Vellner.
Yeah. We're getting him on in a few weeks, with me, Carl.
Yeah, we're working on it,
Right in between Fraser and Noah.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, look, Mark, it's been awesome having you on, mate. Really appreciate it. Thanks for your insights. And I really hope that you get to open your gym, mate. And we'll be down straight away to come work out there, mate, as soon as you do. You get all the support from us. And I've learned a lot from you today. So it's been great listening. And keep in touch, bro.
Thanks, guys. Will do.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Thanks for the well wishes. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate having me on. Thanks, guys.
All right, cheers, Mark. Thanks, buddy.
Cheers, buddy.